Your move, your move.
What's up guys, it's Rogue here and welcome to another amazing video on the channel. Today we are back with the budget deck series. You guys seem to be absolutely loving the living hell out of these videos, and all of you budget players, I got you again. This is going to be a Floowandereeze deck profile because not only do I think this is one of the best budget decks around at the moment, I think this is one of the best starting decks in the game because it teaches you about normal summoning, teaches you about chain links, teaches you about chain blocking because we can chain block as well with the Floowandereeze cards, and it teaches you just how interaction is and how it works in the game of Yugioh. I think that's a fantastic deck to start off with, and this is a budget version for you guys. If you are new around here, make sure you smash that like button, leave a comment down below if you're new and you are looking to pick up this deck and let me know how it does for you. And also subscribe. We currently have a monthly giveaway in the month of May. So make sure you do find that video and enter. It takes about 15 seconds to enter and there's some really nice goodies up for grabs. So that's enough blabbering from me. Let's get on to this deck profile. Okay, so starting off this budget Floowandereeze deck profile. Remember, we're aiming for £20 budget. We have triple Floowandereeze and Rabina. Budget or not, we are playing 3 of this card because it is the probably most important Floowandereeze card in the deck, and it's super cheap as well. This is the highest rarity, it's super rare. It also comes in rare as well. Pennies you can get this card for. What does it do? Well, all of the Floowandereeze have the effect that on normal, they're going to be able to grant you an additional normal by performing an action first. And as long as that action happens, you then gain an additional normal summon. So, Floowandereeze and Rabina, when it is normal summoned, you can add a level 4 or lower winged beast monster from your deck to your hand. Then, immediately after this effect resolves, normal summon 1 winged beast monster. So, really, really cool. The Floowandereeze also have the effect that if they were to leave the field, they are banished. This works even through stuff like evenly matched, which yes, evenly matched forces the player to banish cards face down. The Floowandereeze effect applies and it banishes themselves face up. So whatever, Floowandereeze have to go banished face up when they leave the field, which is really, really nice. And also, they have another effect, because these cards are absolutely incredible, that if a winged beast monster is normal summoned to your field while this card is banished, and this isn't just specifically to Rabina, most if not all of the Floowandereeze cards do this, you can add this card to your hand. So this is super effective in chain blocking as well. So this is why I think this deck is fantastic for beginners. As I said in the introduction, teaches you about chain links, teaches you about chain blocking, teaches you about timing your cards well. I just think it's a fantastic deck for beginners at the moment, and it is cheap. We have, for another 3 of, triple Floowandereeze and Eaglin. Now again, Eaglin is similar to Rabina in terms of it does search cards and then gives you an additional normal summon, except instead of searching for a level 4 or lower, this is going to be searching for a level 7 or higher winged beast monster from your deck to your hand. So again, amazing, grants you access to your big boss monsters and then gives you an additional normal summon as well, which is fantastic. We have, for the one-offs, 1 token, Floowandereeze and token, and 1 Stree, Floowandereeze and Stree. So token is basically a way of recurring your cards infinitely with Stree. So Stree will banish any card in the graveyards, including your opponent's, and then give you an additional normal summon. Token on normal is going to be able to grab you any banished Floowandereeze card and give you a normal summon. So you can see how with Stree and Token, you're going to be able to banish Floowandereeze card, add it back to hand. Basically forever, as long as you can normal summon them, which is fantastic. For the boss monster, double Floowandereeze and M-Pen. M-Pen, unlike its counterparts, actually does have a floodgate effect, which is while this card is tribute summoned in the monster zone, your opponent cannot activate the effects of special summon monsters they control in attack position. So you may be wondering, yes, they're going to Xyz summon in defense, they're going to synchro in defense, they're going to fusion in defense. You cannot link summon in defense. It doesn't exist. You have to link summon in attack because link monsters don't have defense. So this just automatically outs every single link monster in the game, which is fantastic. Also, if they are summoning stuff in defense, it means they're not going to be able to beat over M-Pen, meaning he's going to stay on the field for longer. Also, if they were to attempt to battle him, during the damage step, you can banish 1 card from your hand. That opponent's monster current attack is halved. So they need something that's absolutely huge. I think it's like 5,900 they need of attack, even to just be over the M-Pen, because if you half it, 5,800 becomes, I believe it's what, math, it might be a bit less than 5.9, maybe it's 5.8. However, for example, if it's 5k and you half it, they'll only be on 2/5. So they need 5/4 or more to be over the end pen. So most cards just don't really get that high in attack anymore these days in Yu-Gi-Oh! Another thing to mention about the Floowandereeze is that you cannot basically special summon the turn you use their effects, all of the little ones. So there's not really any extra deck monsters that they have. So it's all main deck, and with the main deck, you're going to be able to just outgrind and beat pretty much a lot of the Yu-Gi-Oh! Decks in the game at the moment. For other Winged Beast tributes, we have Riser. This card is very complicated to explain. People still don't know how this card works, so I'm just going to read exactly what it does, and then you can understand that however way you want. So you can tribute summon this card by tributing one tribute summoned monster. If this card is tribute summoned, target one card on the field and one card in either graveyard. Also, if this card is tribute summoned by tributing a wind, which most of the time it is over an M-Pen or an Eaglin, you can target an additional card on the field, place the first target on top of the deck, and after that, return the additional target to hand. So basically, the target on field and the target in grave go to hand, and the additional bonus target is going to go back to... No, that's going to go back to the deck. What you target on the field and in the grave is go back to deck. So you can top deck something, and the additional target is going to go back to the hand. So you can usually just target himself and then bounce him back to the hand and then normal summon him again. So really complicated card. It must be an easier way to have worded this card, but it is what it is. And we have the Mist Valet Apex Avian, and he's just an Omni Negate, and you just normal summon him at the end of a chain, and now you got an Omni Negate, and he just negates by bouncing himself back to hand, so then you can just use it again, which is fantastic. That is it for the Winged Beast monsters and Floowandereeze cards. Let's move on to the supporting spell cards. Triple of the Floowandereeze and the Magnificent Map. Absolutely essential, this card. Lets you play during your opponent's turn, gives you consistency, everything you needed for a field spell they got. So during the main phase, reveal a level 1 Floowandereeze monster in your hand, banish a Floowandereeze card with a different name from your deck, and then immediately normal summon that revealed monster. It doesn't need to be a monster, it can be any card. So if you have Token, for example, you can grab that card immediately back. Then if your opponent normal summons a monster, immediately after this effect resolves, normal summon a Floowandereeze. Starts all of your chain links all over again during your opponent's turn. So incredible card, you need 3. For another 3 of, we play triple Floowandereeze and the Advent of Adventure. This card is incredible once you realize it's a quick play spell that banishes a winged beast monster from your hand or face up field as cost, meaning you're going to be able to dodge stuff like Ash, Imperm, any targeted destruction, any targeted negation. This is going to be able to just get that out the way, continue your chain link. Stuff like Imperm can really kill this deck. This is how you dodge Imperm and Veiler with this card. And then you banish that and you add a Floowandereeze monster or the field spell from your deck to your hand and gain 500 life points. It didn't need to do that, but because it does that, we also have a win in time. So amazing. For the other continuous, we have the Floowandereeze and the Unexplored Winds. This, I think, card gets better. The more competent you get with Floowandereeze, the more broken you realize that this card is. This card is incredible. We only play 1 because by itself it doesn't do much. However, if you set up a combo and search for this, you're in such a good spot. Why? Because you can conduct tribute summons that require 2 tributes by sending 1 monster you control and 1 card your opponent controls to the graveyard instead of tributing, and it's still treated as a tribute summon. You can tribute your opponent's back row, floodgates, just tribute them away and summon your guys. That effect isn't once per turn, by the way, so you can loop that multiple times a turn. Then during your main phase, reveal up to 2 winged beast monsters in your hand, place them at the bottom of your deck in any order, and draw cards equal to the number of cards you placed. That is a once per turn, but that's the worst effect. We don't really care much about that. It's nice when it comes up. We care about the fact we can just tribute our opponent's stuff for free while summoning our own, including back row and floodgates, which is incredible. For the other spell, we play 1 Swallow's Cowie. It's basically a Floowandereeze Advent and Adventure. It's just generic for winged beast, so why not play it? You tribute a winged beast monster in your hand or face on field, add 1 winged beast monster from your deck with the same level, and most of them, if not all, are level 1 of all the little ones. And remember, when you do tribute, it would get banished as well because of the Floowandereeze effect, so it's basically just an Advent of Adventure. We only play 1 because we don't want to be seeing multiple of this in our hand, because it can only be used once. Unlike Floowandereeze and the Adventure, we can search this and we can have multiple for our opponent's turn as well. This, we only really want to play 1. For the traps, 1 Floowandereeze and the Dreaming Town. This is basically your main target with M-Pen. When you tribute summon M-Pen, you can add a Floowandereeze card. You're mainly going to be adding Floowandereeze and the Dreaming Town because during the main phase, immediately after this resolves, normal summon a level 4 lowering beast monster. That starts all of your Floowandereeze combos. And then you can banish this card from the graveyard. When you tribute summon a level 7 or higher monster, change all monsters your opponent controls to face down defense. So it's like a Book of Eclipse as well. And remember, when it banishes itself, you can add it back with token and then just go again. So incredible card. For the spice, we're playing the one Floowandereeze and the Scary Sea. Why are we playing this card? Well, we're a budget deck. That means we can't afford all the expensive hand traps. We can't afford all of the expensive side deck cards. We need to be playing cards that we can search to just end the game, and that is what Floowandereeze and the Scary Sea does. If you don't know what this card does, I don't blame you. Not many people play this card. That doesn't mean this card is bad. This card is incredible. It's a counter trap, and when your opponent would special summon a monster, while you control a face-up tribute summon monster and no special summon monsters, negate the summon, return that monster to the hand. Also, for the rest of the turn, your opponent cannot special summon, only conduct 3 normal summons or sets. Broken. Absolutely broken. Do this against Yugioh. What are they going to do? They're going to get a bunch of bodies. They're not going to be able to make anything. And then you can just clear the board. Do this against Malice. They're not going to be able to make anything. They're just going to be able to normal summon and get a couple of effects. Maybe get a trap. Blowout card. We play this card in a budget deck. It's amazing. And we play the 1 Harpy's Featherstorm as well. Obviously, with Thrust and stuff, this card becomes a lot better. We're not playing Thrust in this deck. However, we still should play at least 1 in the main and then a couple in the side. This card just says win the game. But the reason we're not playing 3 is because we have 2 in the side, and going second, drawing multiple of this card absolutely sucks, so we don't want to do that. If you control a winged beast monster, your opponent cannot activate any monster effects until basically till the end of the turn, and that's just not from field, that's from hand, banished, field, grave, deck, anywhere. They can't activate monster effects, and then you just win the game basically next turn because it's so good. The other effects have to do with Harpy cards. Well, we don't play Harpies in this deck. We just play the Floowandereeze. For the hand traps, we play triple Ash because Ash is cheap and generic and amazing. Even the meta decks that can play any hand trap still play Ash. It's just that good. We play triple DD Crow. 1, because Bestials are expensive, and 2, because this is searchable. This is a level 1 winged beast monster. So with Robina, if you already have combo, you just search multiple DD Crows, and then you just use them. So it's a searchable hand trap. So even though we're only playing 9 hand traps, we can effectively search for one of them. So that's better. That guarantees basically seeing it if you go first. Then we play triple Imperm as well, just because it's cheap and it's good. And most of our budget went on Imperms, but they do come in common. I still think they're a couple pounds each. So this is still an expensive card, even after so many reprints. It's just that good. For consistency cards, triple Pot of Duality. It's free in this deck. We hardly ever special summon. If we do, it's from the extra deck. And reveal the top 3 cards, add 1 to your hand, shuffle the rest back in the deck. Lets you go 3 cards deep and just pick one that works for you. Double Pot of Extravagance with 1 Pot of Prosperity. We keep the pot lineup at 6. This draws us cards. This is a Pot of Duality on crack, basically. That's why we play them. And it just gets rid of stuff in the extra deck, which we don't care about. 1 Call by the Grave to attempt to play through hand traps, like Vela, Ash, stuff like that. Perulia. Oh, God, if they hit you with a Perulia, you are cooked. You need to really see the call by. Fuwalos, you laugh. Meows, you laugh. They hit you with a freaking Mulcharmy Perulia, you get cooked, because that gives them a card every time you normal summon, so you just don't play the game. And we play the 1 Gold Sarcophagus. Shout out to Mark, who absolutely adores this card. Searches anything, but it takes 2 turns. However, in Floowandereeze, it does search any monster, because you can banish a monster, normal summon any level 1 winged beast. That will trigger the monster's effects, add itself back to the hand. You gain an additional normal, and you cook. So this is basically just an E-Telly, basically. So that is why I play it. So this is 40 cards. Remember, this is budget. Let's go straight into the side deck, and I'll explain why we don't have an extra deck in a moment. Moving on to the side deck, we have triple Nibiru, because we need some more hand traps if we're going second, and Nibiru's good. We play triple Dark Ruler No More. This is to help break boards that our opponent establishes. This is good into the Malice boards that have a bunch of stuff. We can just negate it. Against Yugioh, just switch off the detonator, providing they don't have Eclipse Twin set up, and just a bunch of stuff. For going first, we have double Dimension Fissure. We don't play Shifter anymore. You probably could, however, I just cut it and just play these. I side these in going first. And I play the 1 Harpy's Feather Duster just for mass back row removal. 1 Raigeki as well to just get rid of monsters. Maybe thinking, why the hell are we playing this? Guys, we had like a 25 pound budget. We were really clutching at straws at this point, and we really needed to just have cards that go multiples for 1. Yes, I'd rather have Lightning Storm. Yes, I really would, but that's an expensive card, whereas Dust and Raigeki are nothing. The extra 2 Harpy's Featherstorm cards, we side them in going first as well, just because we want to see them. And then we have the triple Solemn Judgment just to negate anything that's going to be threatening our board when we're going first, post-siding format. So this is like the side to the side. It's amazing. For the extra deck, I'm not showing one because we ran out of budget. However, this is where you need to be resourceful. I want you to go into any of your locals, just ask for just free random extra deck monsters that no one plays, and it's basically in the bin. We're going to add them. We need 15 of those. Why do we need 15 random extra deck monsters? Because we need stuff to banish off of our pot cards, specifically Pot of Extravagance and Pot of Prosperity. Once you start accumulating more budget, your main focus in the extra deck is going to be a Relinquished Anima, because that's a level, it takes a level 1 and can take something. You're going to be getting an SP Little Knight. You're going to be getting a Lyrilisk Assemble Nightingale, a Downed Magician, and a Zeus. Once you have all those in the extra deck, those are like the mandatory ones that you really need and should really focus on getting ASAP. Once you have all those, the rest is basically just preference. Just go replacing those useless monsters for stuff that could come up, like Charmers, Access Code, even cherry targets if you want to play cherries and hit stuff like Raziel Detonator and Fiendsmith cards. All that stuff you're going to be getting over time. We ran out of budget. We had exactly £20, £25, and basically I'm like, I'd rather have a really solid main and side with random stuff in the extra deck, because the extra deck comes up maybe once every 10 matches or so, than have a blinged out extra deck with everything optimal with no side. So I had to make a sacrifice. I think the side is more important. The main deck is very competent in its own as well. Remember, just pick up 15 random cards. Make sure they're just not the same card, because you're going to run 3s. Any random jank, people will give you it. They probably put it in packs. They don't want it. Just give it to you. Put it in your extra deck. You need 15 of them. That's it for this budget Floowandereeze deck profile. Let me know what you guys thought of the profile. Let me know if you think this deck is a good budget deck. I think it's fantastic for learners, and I'll catch you all in the next deck.
It's time to